Hello everybody, welcome back. So we're not going to talk about Bitcoin. It's boring. Despite Matt Damon telling us to be brave around this peak, it's basically boring. And just like stocks, it's boring. Pretty depressing actually. Everybody and their mothers are waiting for the rate hike, and that's not, that is not a life-changing event by any means. We've been saying for feels like several months now that we're waiting for a clarification to base allocating risk around, and that's what the first rate hike is going to give us, a little bit of clarification to stop us guessing. But I spoke about this in the past. People talking about, inflation's supposed to be good for crypto. What the heck's going on? Well, inflation is good for everything, but the market has a habit of pricing everything in. Since the pandemic struck around here, the Fed turned their money printers on, basically meaning that inflation was guaranteed, although inflation, all of these points hadn't been confirmed. Now what's happened is inflation has been confirmed to be quite high, around about these levels, and we're already in a downtrend and it's continuing on. But that makes no sense, does it? How does that make sense? Why is inflation higher now and everything going down, whereas inflation was lower here and everything going up? Well, the market has a habit of pricing everything in prior to it going on. So inflation guaranteed to go up. Before it went up, everything went up. Inflation now confirmed to be high, everything going down. What's the deal? Well, we're going to get a rate hike, I believe, over the next couple of days, in America anyway. And is it going to be 0.25? Is it going to be 0.5? What is it going to be? We need to shed a little bit of light onto that to work out what it's going to be. The only thing we can guarantee is that there's going to be volatility, whatever it is that they say, whether it's 0.25, 0.5 or whatever. We're probably going to get a tag down and then probably a bounce back up. As, like I say, clarification will help everybody allocate cash. And if there's one thing we could be certain of, is that cash is not particularly a good place to be when inflation is running high. You do want to have it somewhere. Precious metals have been a really good place to have it right now. Again, a lot of that has been accentuated by the Ukraine conflict right now. So there is other reasons to think why certain commodities are going to be better. But when we're talking specifically about inflation, we do want to get out of a cash position, or at least try and get some of it back to work again. And I think the rate hike will help that. But anyway, this isn't about that. We've already spoken about that. Now it's time to think about XRP. I know, it's crazy. We're going to look at XRP because surprisingly there's some interesting things going on with XRP. So we look at this. This is the XRP on the weekly, above all major moving averages, apart from the 200 and the 200 exponential, which is all the way up here. I want you to try and remember these prices, right? So we've got this peak area around here, which is about 3,700, and we've got the 200 exponential, 3,800, and the 200 simple, 3,600. So the middle zone is basically this previous support resistance, which is coming around there. So we've got a major top level to be hit up here, and that would give us a target of just short of 100%, right? Which is, it's not massive, but it's pretty good. I'm not saying that this is going to happen, by the way. I'm just saying remember these prices. So we've got that is a major top. Then we've got all these moving averages below us, the 10 exponential and the 21 exponential, the 7 simple. They're all hanging around at this one level here, 1,880. So just remember that. It's a very strong support level based on a weekly. A lot going on at that level, 1,880. Let's take this down a notch. We'll go to the daily for a second. So what's going on the daily? We'll zoom out for a second, so you can see that we have this very strong level of support on a horizontal basis. It's all the way down here, about 1,650 thereabouts, give or take. What have we got on our lower term time frames? So we've got this magic number here. This is your 200 exponential. This is always a big deal for XRP. It likes to respect that. That's the 200 exponential on the daily, comes in at 1,880. So that's the magic number on the weekly, wasn't it, where all those other moving averages were merging. We've also got an incoming golden cross, although it's not taken place, so we will be looking for that to be dumped into at some point, if we were to get the golden cross. So this is again showing a major support level here on the daily. With moving averages. So we've got the weekly, we've got a lot of moving averages all at that one particular level. We've got the daily with a very strong moving average coming in at that level as well. Let's bring it down to the 4 hourly, what we got here. So this is a big push up here based upon some tweeting. What have we got going on down here? So at the bottom of the Bollinger Band, this is a temporary support right now, but if we were to wick down low, what have we got? A 200 exponential coming in at 1,880. What? So we've got 4-hourly, daily and weekly with a very strong level of support based on moving averages of a variety of different time frames, mostly the 200, but on the weekly we've got, you know, the 7 simple, the 21 exponential, the 10 exponential coming in all at that particular level, 1880. Interesting. So it would suggest a very strong level of support if we were to dip down to that level. Now remember, we all know that well, I suppose since since the last parabolic run that it did back in 2017 into 18, that the XRP is not a millionaire starter kit. It did pretty well for me. This is one of the reasons I absolutely love it. It was my first introduction to altcoins. Bought it when it was around 3 cents. Sold it when it was about $2.60 or $2.80. It was a big deal for me. That was my first introduction to going crazy on altcoins back in 2000. Well, I bought it 2016, 17. And so I do love it, and since all of this, yeah, we've been able to trade it successfully again this time round. You know, we came out of a very long period of consolidation and bought into an accumulation here, and you know, despite it not being a millionaire starter kit, it has worked out quite well and has been a pretty well traded chart, which is why we like to look at it, because it does respect its moving averages, it does respect signals, it likes all of that, which makes it a very tradable chart. And it's why I actually have so much XRP, because using Bybit, you know, I know you can do it on other exchanges now, but you can do, you know, with using coin futures, you basically use XRP, or you can use XRP as your margin, and you earn XRP, you know, through margin trading, through futures trading. And so I've ended up with a ridiculous sum of XRP that just basically is I just got too much of it basically. So I do like to look at it sometimes, because it does take up an enormous amount of my portfolio just by default, because of the amount of trades that I've made, you know, over the last few years, mostly including these huge parabolic ones like this, using futures, you know. So I do like to look at it, but I'm under no illusion that XRP is not a millionaire starter kit, unless of course you're using futures trading, which I'm not trying to push you towards at all. It takes, you know, not so much skill, but it's not something I want you to do unless you feel like you're ready to do that sort of thing. So yeah, XRP, not the millionaire starter kit, but for full disclosure, I have got a lot of XRP, a lot of it. Right, so what we're looking at now then is this is your tether pairing, an enormous descending triangle, which is effectively usually a bearish, bearish formation. The reason it's bearish is because every time we come to a resistance, it's lower each time. The support remains the same. So basically, we get squashed and squashed and squashed until the point where the resistance, usually being the stronger form, pushes us below the support. So it's more bearish than bullish. Although while you're inside it, there is hopium that we could break outside of it. On the tether pairing, the 200 exponential once again is like a major player for XRP. Being above it is pretty bullish, being below it is pretty bearish, and again we're below it right now. So we have to accept that we could easily come back down and break down based on its tether pairing. But based on its Bitcoin pairing, it only wants to go down a little bit. Based on its tether pairing, it looks like it could go down, you know, quite a bit more. We're going to just measure them out just for fun, from this price that we're at right now all the way down to the bottom level of this support, 26, almost 27% removed down, and we think about where we could potentially go on its Bitcoin pairing, only really a 3% down. So the two don't match. But if we are looking to base our trades around anything, we do have to think about both of these together. There is still massive risk involved in this. We can see that moving averages haven't generally been respected that much with its Bitcoin pair, although, you know, the longer it stays above all of these, the more likely it is to actually go into an uptrend. But if we think about this versus its tether pairing, until we reclaim the 200 exponential first of all, and then get outside of this giant descending triangle, this terrible formation that we're in, we can't really be particularly bullish on it. So long story short, XRP is actually showing signs that it could go into an uptrend, but in this environment that we're talking about, which is why I spoke about the rate hikes and pressing the trigger on anything right this very moment in time, would be a bit too daring. However, when the rate hike comes out and we get the volatility and we see which way the markets actually want to continue, do they want to go down or do they want to break out, and do they want to have some decent relief? I think XRP could be one of those that does a decent relief rally. Now if we think about this, we've got a support down here, we've got the top of this resistance over here. We could do a measured move. Let's just say we broke out over here. We would be looking to put in a new high, you know, with its tether pairing. We would be basically above $2. That's where that's where it would point to if it were to continue with that kind of rally, which is obviously over 100% rally with its tether pairing. And we were looking for XRP to put in maybe a 90% rally on its Bitcoin pairing. So the two could be married on the upside, but the downsides don't match. But the targets to the up basically do measure out more or less effectively what you'd expect if everything were to have a rally after this rate hike. So ears and eyes to the ground. We just need to work out what the Fed are going to do. That's what everybody's looking to do right now. And you know, I'm looking to put more money into stocks. Well, to put money back into stocks. I've got 80% sitting on the sidelines for my stocks and shares. I've got about 60% on the sidelines for crypto. I've got money that just desperately wants to be put back into risky assets. But until the Fed tell us exactly what they're going to do, unfortunately, it just kind of has to sit on the side. Because otherwise it would be a gamble. But we are looking for some bottoms to be put in soon if the rate hike is tame, as long as it's below 0.5. It's probably going to be less than that, but I don't want to speculate too much. And that's because of the nature of what's going on in Eastern Europe. You don't want to have a destroyed economy while it's obviously not looking too good anyway. So it does. I think that they're likely to put in a 0.25, but that remains to be seen this week. The only thing we can guarantee is volatility, but if we're going to unlock the keys to these charts, we do need to think about the Bitcoin pairs, and XRP's got one that's, I would say, it's promising. It's promising. It's not got the epic signals or anything like that we want to see, but we do have particular areas of interest. You know, if you're looking to maybe stock up, if we can hold above 1,880 sats, it would be a buy that could end up being the one that pushes us up if the markets all respond in the same way that we want them to. Just quickly looking at total market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, this is the other thing that we've been thinking about. This is on a monthly. We do want to see us break down, you know, potentially by another 13% to the 21 exponential, or the center of the Bollinger Band about 18% as well. We do want to see that, and that would be again another area to base a market bounce for altcoins, and we've been, you know, holding out for that as well. So there's a lot of sitting around on the sidelines waiting for certain precursors to be met before we can actually go crazy on stuff. Despite what Matt Damon said, like I say, you know, being brave has turned out as being bored, really, more than anything. And crypto is generally like this. You know, I know that most people who entered the market last year are not used to this, but yeah, crypto can be very much like this. And it's fine. And the fact that you're watching this video and you've stuck around and you're willing to watch and wait is probably going to serve you well in the end, because the people who have left and don't watch the videos or don't bother with it anymore and, you know, have given up on it and sold at a loss, yeah, unfortunately they're the ones who won't make the money. The ones who will make the money are the ones who follow the steps down, yeah, look for signs of life, think outside of the box, you know, when it comes to the overall economy, which is very much tied into crypto right now. You guys are the ones who will make the most. People who make 100x's don't make them when things are going parabolic. They make them when things before things go parabolic. You know, that's when you make the big money, right? And so the fact that you're all sticking around watching this and waiting with us, forming a plan about how you're going to deal with all of this, and look to basically, you know, cash in, maybe even as soon as the end of this year. You know, with some serious gains, you know, probably on altcoins. Congratulations to you. And you know, and it's at that point when things start to go parabolic, and you'll recognize it yourself now. Matt Damon might make another advert, but you'll get people come up to you, you know, old friends or whatever, or people who first of all, or the same people who are, you know, wrecked right now, coming back saying, "What should I buy?" That's usually the time to sell. Matt Damon is the ultimate indicator, but there are several other major indicator people out there. Usually your next door neighbours and, you know, distant friends. Right. Tangent over. Live stream tonight for those who are interested. There's a Patreon link in the description, so I'll see you there. We'll go through as many coins as we can in that time. And yeah, I hope you all have a nice day and take it easy.